Let me tell you something that surprised even me when I first dug into the research. The number one reason men over 50 start to feel weaker, slower, and softer in the middle isn't their age, and it isn't even their testosterone on its own. It's something far more boring, far more fixable, and almost nobody talks about it. Most men over 50 are quietly starving the one tissue that keeps them strong, lean, and vital. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you the exact amount of protein your body actually needs after 50, the simple way to spread it across your day so your body can actually use it, and the one mistake at breakfast that's costing you muscle every single morning. Stay with me, because that breakfast point near the end is the one that changes things fastest. Here's the truth I want to plant in your mind right now. After the age of 50, your body becomes what researchers call anabolically resistant. That's a fancy way of saying your muscles get harder of hearing. When you were 25, a small amount of protein would shout at your muscles, "Hey, build and repair," and your body would jump to it. Now, at 50, 60, 65, that same small amount of protein whispers, and your muscles barely hear it. So you need to speak louder. You need more protein, and more importantly, you need it timed right to get the same signal you used to get for free. And this matters far more than just looking good in a shirt. Muscle is not vanity tissue. Muscle is your metabolic engine, your blood sugar sponge, your insurance policy against falls and frailty, and yes, it's deeply tied to your hormones. Men who hold on to their muscle as they age tend to maintain healthier testosterone levels, better insulin sensitivity, and more day-to-day energy. When you lose muscle, the whole system starts to sag with it. There's even a name for age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia. And here's the scary part. Starting around 40, the average man can lose 3 to as much as 8% of his muscle mass per decade, and it accelerates after 60. Most men don't notice it happening because it's slow. One year, the jar opens a little harder. The next year, the stairs feel a little longer. They blame age. But a huge piece of it is simply not eating enough protein to hold the line. So let's get to the number, because that's why you're here. The official minimum recommendation you've probably heard is about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Let me be very plain with you. That number is the floor to prevent deficiency in a young, healthy, sedentary person. It is not the number for a 55-year-old man who wants to stay strong. The research on older adults points much higher. Most studies on protecting muscle in men over 50 land somewhere between 1.2 and 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. If kilograms make your eyes glaze over, here's the simpler version in pounds. Aim for roughly 0.7 to 1 full gram of protein per pound of your target body weight. Let me make that real. Say you're a man who weighs around 190 pounds. Your protein target lands somewhere in the range of about 120 to 170 grams of protein a day, depending on how active you are and how much muscle you're trying to protect or build. If that sounds like a lot, that's exactly the point. It's far more than most men your age are actually eating. Studies that track real diets find a lot of older men limping along on 60, 70, 80 grams a day, then wondering why their arms are getting thinner and their belly is getting softer. They're not eating for the body they want. They're eating like a bird and aging like one. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part that separates men who stay strong from men who slowly fade. It's not just how much protein, it's how you distribute it. Remember that anabolic resistance, the muscles being hard of hearing? Because of that, your body has what scientists call a protein threshold per meal. To fully flip the muscle-building switch in an older man, research suggests you need somewhere around 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein in a single sitting. Below that, the signal is too quiet. So if you eat almost no protein at breakfast, a little at lunch, and then a giant steak dinner, you've actually wasted most of the day. You only crossed the threshold once. You sent the build signal once when you could have sent it 3 or 4 times. This is the breakfast mistake I promised you, and it's enormous. The classic older man breakfast is toast, cereal, a piece of fruit, maybe a coffee. That's almost pure carbohydrate. 10 grams of protein if you're lucky. So your body wakes up after an overnight fast, in a breakdown state, and you give it nothing to rebuild with. You've left your muscle hanging until noon, sometimes later. Flip that. A breakfast built around 3 or 4 eggs, or eggs plus a scoop of Greek yogurt, or a protein shake with 30 plus grams, sends that build signal first thing in the morning when your body is begging for it. That one change, front-loading protein at breakfast, is one of the most powerful and underused tools for an aging man's body. It costs you nothing extra. It's just rearranging what you already eat. So the game plan looks like this. 3 meals, each landing in that 30 to 40 gram protein zone. And if you're active or training, maybe a fourth feeding. 3 solid meals at 40 grams each already puts you at 120. Add a protein-rich snack, and you're sailing comfortably into the protective range. That's the whole strategy. Hit the threshold several times a day, every day. And if you want faster, longer-lasting results, I've put the exact natural support I recommend in the link below this video. Now let's talk about what actually goes on the plate, because quality matters too. Not all protein speaks to your muscles with the same volume. The loudest, clearest signal comes from a building block called leucine, and animal proteins are richest in it. Eggs, and don't fear the yolks, they carry nutrients that support healthy testosterone. Lean beef, chicken and turkey, fish like salmon and sardines, which give you protein, plus those omega-3s that support healthy inflammation levels and may help your muscles respond even better. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, plain old milk. These are your anchors. If you eat more plant-based, you absolutely can hit your targets, but you'll generally need a bit more total protein and a wider variety. Lentils, beans, tofu, tempeh, edamame, because plant proteins tend to be a little quieter in that leucine signal. Spreading them across a range of sources covers your bases. Let me walk you through what a real day can look like so this isn't just theory. Breakfast, a 3-egg omelet with a side of Greek yogurt. That's around 35 grams before you've even tried hard. Lunch, a palm-and-a-half sized portion of chicken or fish, roughly the size of a deck-and-a-half of cards, on a big salad or with rice and vegetables. Another 35 to 40. Mid-afternoon, when most men reach for crackers, you reach for cottage cheese, or a handful of jerky, or a shake, 25-30 grams. Dinner, a good piece of salmon or lean steak, another 40. Add it up and you're cruising past 140 grams without choking down anything weird or living in the kitchen. It's ordinary food, simply aimed with intention. A few honest cautions, because I respect you enough to give them. More protein is not infinitely better. Once you've hit that protective range for your size, piling on mountains more doesn't build extra muscle, it just becomes expensive urine. The muscle still has to be earned through movement. Protein is the raw material, but resistance, lifting something heavy, carrying, pushing, pulling, even body weight work 2 or 3 times a week is what tells your body to actually use that material. Protein without strength training is bricks with no bricklayer. And if you have any kidney condition or any existing health issue, this is general information, so talk to your own doctor before you make a big jump in protein. For the average healthy man, though, the research is reassuring. Higher protein in these ranges is safe and protective, not dangerous to healthy kidneys, despite the old myth. Let me bring this home. Aging doesn't have to mean shrinking. So much of what men accept as just getting older, the weakness, the softening middle, the fatigue, the sense of fading, is partly a slow protein deficit playing out over years. You have more control than you've been told. Feed your muscles enough. Feed them often enough. Anchor every meal with real protein. Win the breakfast, and pair it with lifting something heavy a few times a week. Do that, and you give your body every reason to stay strong, lean, and capable for decades. If this helped you see your plate differently, take the next step. The natural support I personally recommend to help men in this exact stage is waiting for you in the link below this video. Go check it out and start tomorrow at breakfast. You've still got real strength in you. The job now is simply to feed it and protect it, one solid meal at a time. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one. And just so it's said plainly, everything here is general education to help you make informed choices, not medical advice. So please partner with your own doctor on what's right for your body.